watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That young man out there is
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
I don't think we introduced ourselves on the, on the previous. We just take it for granted that all of our followers know who the hell we are, right?
So we were anxious to get drinking, so we skipped the introduction.
Yeah, we just got right into it because that's what we do here at Tequila Aficionado. And tonight, Matt and I have a beautiful. I'm so looking forward to this. Mm-hmm. This is we had its stablemate, Vinateros Bacanora, last year. The Joven, which is the unaged version, and this is coming. The reason this is unusual is because it's coming in at 80 proof. So technically we call this a gateway Bacanora, and the Joven was outstanding. We loved it. It won a brand of promise in 2021. You can see all those videos on our website and on our YouTube channel, and you can also witness the ballot. Every ballot has been revealed so far, and of course this year's is still building. I love the look. I think I love. Look at it. It's got that see-through like vodka look. It's got like the agave, and I love the nostalgic look. Oh, good shot, man. Yep, you can see it right there. Vinateros is what they call the distillery in when you make Bacanora, they're called vinatas, and certainly the person that makes them is called a vinatero. And they sent us all this lovely information, which is really cool. So we'll get to that in a second. We're just gonna pour it right now. We're gonna taste it. This is the Reserva. They threatened us with this late last year, and I said, yeah, when it's ready, I want it. And they did. They were very nice enough to. As a matter of fact, they're called Giggle Water Imports, mm-hmm. And they're the gentleman and lady, a husband and wife team that actually made this happen. And I'll get to their names in a second. But oh my God, we're using the Stasso Harino.
Beautiful color, yeah.
For mezcal. Because I want to get. That's a beautiful color, man. Mm-hmm. Wow.
It almost looks like a brandy or.
Yeah, or like a cognac or something. Bear with me. I dropped my sign here.
Better than dropping your Bacanora. That would be.
No. I didn't drop that.
I've been there before.
I will. You'll see it if I did that. I'm going to nominate this Brand of Promise nominee in packaging. I love the packaging. This is so cool. It looks
super
so
classy.
Special. Yes. Yeah. So, color's beautiful.
I haven't even smelled it yet, but I can smell it just from over here, and it smells amazing. So I'm excited for that.
Oh my God! And that's what we loved about the Joven. The Blanco. I guess I'm calling it a Joven. I can't even remember what it was they were calling it.
Yeah.
It had so much depth.
You can see those tears just streaking down the side. They're great.
Yeah, and they're not clingy. They're just. It's streaming like Netflix, man.
That's a good one.
Because we stream like Netflix. That's right, folks. If you're watching us on YouTube, we stream all of our episodes from the month previously on the beginning of the next month, so you can binge watch us, binge drink. So
tequila and chill.
That's it, baby. Tequila and chill.
This is taking it towards the worst. I'm going to smell this.
Oh my God! Who writes our material? Come on.
No one. That's the problem.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh.
That's really nice.
The plant depth is not lost. It's just again. Now you and I have had a few mezcals at different ABVs. This one's at 80 proof, okay, and this one has as much depth as a mezcal with higher ABV, coming in at 85, 80, we've had them as high as 90, I think, some of the mezcals.
I get plant, definitely some smoke.
Yep. Very subtle.
Yeah. Mesquite, not mystique. Jesus, I've only had one drink tonight so far.
Oh my goodness. It's just so it's almost got a ricea plant depth to it. I call it a paper woodsy, pulpy, like that. Obviously, and we'll get to the details on how they're producing this, so you get a really good idea of why this is so special.
Yeah, there's something else in there that I can't put my finger on.
Maybe it's not. They are resting this in wood. I'm assuming. I haven't had a chance to eat it.
It is some, yeah, it's like some woodiness, but it's not the traditional like oakiness that we'd associate with tequila, but it is sort of wood adjacent.
Well, that's why I'm saying I'm getting that. It's like a pulpiness, but it's not coming from the barrel. I think it's coming from the plant itself.
Yeah.
Because if I know anything about how this is done, if this aroma is familiar to me, it's that they're fermenting it with the fibers, and so it's a very fibrous kind of smell. Like the fibers are still here. They're adding that extra aroma depth, and I'm sure the flavor profile is going to be fantastic. In fact, I'm ready to dive in, man. Are you?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Here we go. We're diving in, folks. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a beefy flavor profile. What an amazing finish.
Wow. It really, the aroma was not indicative of what the taste was going to be like. It was took me by surprise. It's much lighter in the mouth than you would expect from smelling it. And there's lots of layers to it. I got like hints of lime at one point. Maybe some licorice. Like there's so much going on that my brain came up with what was happening in there.
I got the pepper explosion in mid palate as well. An extra long finish. Holy cow. And I gotta say, the wood character takes a back seat to the character that this has. This is only an 80 proof, folks. You know,
it's a tad on the sweet side too. It's got a little bit of sweetness, but not like in an artificial way, in like a naturally sweet kind of way.
Yeah.
It's very like the mouthfeel. It's very light. It moves around really well. And I get some of the smoke on the finish. I get that like residual smoke feel in my mouth, but you don't taste it at all. This
is the kind of, like I said, reminds me of a couple of the riceas we had last year that Alex and I tasted. That there's smoke involved, but it's not very prevalent. It's way at the bottom level. It's not the top layer that everybody expects or maybe thinks that they get. It's almost the smoke is almost an afterthought. But what happens is that the more passes you have, that smoke does its job and starts to coat the palate. Okay, because you notice the second pass, we've only had 2 passes on this one. Yeah, and the second one is now starting to. It's a similar thing that what happens when they over glycerin something, and it gets really super sweet on your palate. This is complete opposite. This is a natural coating. It happens with the process. So the smoke is not the star of the show. The plant is presented, and the smoke is this afterthought, this thing that just naturally coats your palate. This is just beautiful. Oh my goodness.
It really is. And I can feel that smoke building up, and especially on the roof of my mouth, the retronasal.
Yeah. But there's no barrel notes though. I'm not getting a whole barrel.
Really. I get a little bit of like, I don't know, vanilla or caramel or something that you might associate with a barrel, but it's not. It's really deep in there. It's not the first thing that comes out.
Yeah.
And sort of it might just be my brain associating that sweet factor with it.
It could be the plant too. I mean, let me get you some of the ins and outs. I'm just really enjoying the flavor profile. This is, the aroma. When you look at the legs and tears, you're thinking, well, it's streaming, so maybe it doesn't have that body or mouthfeel, but it actually does. It actually has more structure than you're seeing it visually, which I love. I love natural legs and tears, I love clinging ones too. I do, but the natural ones, especially with the mezcals and the bacanoras and the raicillas, then you know that there's nothing else in there but plant and what they barreled it in, and that's it. So let me take one more sip here.
Yeah, got a little bit. So it's 100% agave angustifolia, hand harvested, roasted in pits for 3 days in ground oven with a quote unquote unique blend of wood. So that could be influencing some of the smoke and some of the woodiness that we're getting. Fermented 8 to 14 days with spring water, double distilled, and then rested in white oak, but only for 2 to 4 months. So this is a really dark color for 2 to 4 months in a barrel.
Well, they could be new barrels.
They could be. You're right.
They could be virgin barrels that haven't held anything, and that might be another method of, they don't want any more influencing. They don't want the whiskey influence, the bourbon influence, so they wanted new barrels, because that's what this looks like. It looks like and I'm not even sure if it has any toast or char.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because that explains why we're not getting a lot of, these are probably, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, these are probably fermented in wooden vats.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if there's, naturally it's going to have some wood characteristics, but these are well seasoned wooden vats that have been used over and over and over again in the same manner. So the only wood influence that they want is coming from the vat, not necessarily from the barrel, except for color, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Double distillation, of course. Oh, it is. It says rested in charred white oak barrels for 2 to 4 months. So they are charred. All right. Okay. I'll buy that. But there's nothing coming through. They must have been virgin barrels. That's all I'm saying, is that there's no whiskey influence at all.
Yep. It's beautiful though.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let me give you this came from Chris Allison and his wife, and right now her name escapes me, but both of them have been so wonderful to get this to us. They're out of Jacksonville, Florida. They've got something really special here, man. The master distiller, his name is Jesus Maldonado. Jesus is one bad man, because he's got this down for sure. This method, and believe it or not, they actually gave us here are some
cocktails. Yeah.
Would you make a cocktail with this thing?
I mean, I bet it would be delicious. I would. So we know that this is retailing for $80, which is typically not a price point that you want to make cocktails with. And it looks like these are mostly Blanco cocktails. They have an old fashioned on here, and the Bacanora Burro. I don't know, that's a Blanco too. So only this one, the old fashioned. This could make a decent old fashioned. It would be really neat, really unique. I don't know that I would do it at that price point, but not because it would not be good, just because that gets expensive real quick.
Yeah. But again, if money's no object, you can make this at home.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I got a bottle of it, so maybe I'll try it out here. I have all these ingredients, so.
That's right, because you might have a Vinateros cocktail, that's a high roller cocktail,
Yeah.
Do you have any casinos in Rochester?
No, the closest one's about 45 minutes away. They all have to be on reservations here, basically.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Except for Atlantic City, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a different state, so they can get away with it.
On the boardwalk. Wow, this is just lovely. Giggle Water Imports. Chris and his missus, they just, well, like I said, the Joven, the Unaged, the Blanco, it won an award last year from us, and I gotta say, unless we get another Gateway Bacanora, this is a brand of promise nominee in packaging. This is a gateway Bacanora, and I gotta say, my gosh, this has more depth and character at 80 proof. You know what it makes me say, and I said this the first time when you taste it. I want to taste this at a higher ABV just to see what it's like.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be awesome. What is it got? What is our story in the back say?
Trip to Sonora. Maybe we can taste it out of the still.
Well, I would love to. I really would love to see. Of course, it gives you a little bit of the history of Bacanora, which was illegal. It was in Mexican history. We know that quite well. And so a lot of these guys were up in the hills. They were moonshiners, basically, just very similar to the moonshiners, hiding it and still making it. And they've been making it for 300 years. Naturally fermented, so that means they're not using, it's the wild yeast that's in the atmosphere, okay? And there's a famous video that I actually put a link to on my consumer catador course, where you see Ron Cooper telling you about the certain meters, that every certain meters there are influence, that whatever it is that's up in the atmosphere influences what goes into the natural fermentation. So there are microbes in the atmosphere that all affect the final outcome, and it's so cool. Wow. And it is crafted on a small ranch outside of the town of Aconchi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Aconchi, Sonora, Mexico. Wow, amazing. Well, it's worth every penny, folks. That's all I can say. Just do it. Do yourself a favor and see what the bit. If you and then like I say, it's a gateway. I mean, after this, you might want to go, with a higher ABV, but not with this much depth. Keep oh my gosh, keep a bottle in your bar just to break up the monotony. Okay, That's awesome. Anyway, that's our take on Vinateros Bacanora Reserve. Okay, this is the Reserva, and it's lovely. It's a brand of promise nominee in that category. Beautiful bubbles and great color. Again, congratulations to Giggle Water. They got something special here. But that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy out there is
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, or if you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on Pinterest, folks. So anywhere where your favorite social media, whatever you're doing, follow us there. Subscribe if you've had this before. Give us a comment down below on our YouTube channel. But whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Wisely.